Hi there, my name is Gregg Driggs. I am the area manager for Prime Mortgage Lending. I have been in the mortgage business since 1988, so probably longer than most of you that are watching this video. I've even been alive. I just wanted to cover a few things when it comes to buying a home. I know that everybody thinks it's stressful and it's a big deal, but it actually isn't, especially if you're working with the right professional. There's lots of great people all up and down the Wasatch Front that can help you get a mortgage loan and make the process simple. Let's talk about a few different topics. First of all, how can I buy my first home? Lots of people think you've got to save 10% or 20% put down. That's simply not the case. Almost all the major cities in Utah have grant programs that will assist you with your down payment. There are income limits and there are some requirements such as credit scores, etc. But necessarily saving up 10% shouldn't hold you back from buying a home. Most of those programs have zero down. That brings us to credit. Your credit report is important. Your credit score is important. However, Credit Karma, that runs commercials all the time, may not be as accurate as they want you to believe. Not a bad source to give you an idea of what your credit is looking like. However, it is not accurate. It is different than what a mortgage lender will use for your credit. But it is a good indicator. It will also kind of help you build your credit if you don't have any credit. My suggestion, if you don't have credit at this point, is to get at least 2 credit cards and keep them at 30% or less of the balance that they have granted you. So if you've been granted a $1,000 limit, make sure and stay at $300 or less. That will help you maximize your credit score. There are several different loan types available out there. Like I said, there are several zero down payment loans. There are conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans, and depending on where you're buying a home, there is also a USDA loan option. Yes, the same department that certifies your meat also does home loans. However, you have to live in a rural area, which is typically defined by less than 20,000 people in the city. So there are some exceptions. If your senator happens to be, or your congressman happens to be from your certain area, there may be an exception, Saratoga Springs. But other than that, most places abide by that rule. Risks and rewards of waiting. Lots of people want to save up money. They want to have that down payment. They want to have equity. Right now, Utah is one of the hottest states in the United States. So we are seeing a rise in equity. The advantages of waiting would be maybe you've got some down payment money and you think that you will be able to have a smaller loan, which will give you a smaller payment. The disadvantages of waiting are, number one, you don't know what interest rates are going to do. They are likely going to go up. In the 30 years in the industry that I have experienced, we've only had 2 years when rates are lower than they are currently. So the odds are greatly in favor of higher interest rates. So you may save $1,000 or $2,000 and then go to buy a home, but rates have gone up, and so the value of that $1,000 to $2,000 is exactly zero. So that's my thoughts as far as waiting. If you can buy a home now, I would recommend that you do so because you're going to begin building equity. Why not rent? Just told you, you can't build any equity from renting. You also don't get any tax advantages from renting. So those are some things that you would want to consider. You can talk to a CPA about the tax advantages of buying a home. Let's talk about the 10 don'ts. A big old giant stop sign right here. I give this to all of my clients because in my 30 years, I have had several people who come into me, we get pre-approved, they get ready to buy their dream home, and then I pull their credit again, and they can't qualify anymore because they went out and bought a new car, they bought new furniture, new washer, dryer, all the things that you think you want after you buy the new home. The key there is that you need to wait and do it after you buy your new home. So let's talk about the 10 things. Number 1, don't deposit cash or transfer funds between your accounts. Why? Because then I have to find out where the money came from and why you're moving it around. We do have to report to the government where your funds came from for a down payment. We also are going to be looking for overdrafts, so don't go into overdraft on your bank accounts. Number 2, don't make large purchases or take on any new debts. As previously mentioned, I've had clients that do that. We get to the closing table, suddenly there is a form that you will sign that says, have you taken out any new debt? And if you sign this form and say yes, then we stop closing on your home loan. We have to then get that information and see if you still qualify. Number 3, don't pay off collections or charge-offs. Let's kind of go back a little bit. Just don't get collections or charge-offs. So try paying your bills, and then we don't have to worry about number 3. Number 4, don't allow for any new credit inquiries. What does that mean? Well, when you go out looking for a car, you want to go buy a new car, car dealers always want to pull your credit. And I can always tell anybody that's been recently looking for a car because they've got like 20 pulls on their credit. When you get something in the mail that says, you've been pre-approved, fill this out, they're going to pull your credit. Don't do that kind of stuff if you're trying to get ready to buy a home. Number 5, don't work less than full time. If you've come in and got pre-approved and you say that you work at Walmart for 40 hours a week, and then I verify your income and it says you work 37 hours a week, now I got to redo your income. So if you can work a part-time job and qualify to buy a home, but don't tell me you work a full-time job, or don't tell the lender, not just me, any lender, that you have a full-time job if you actually have a part-time job. Number 6, don't open or close any credit cards unless advised by your lender. We will only advise you to do that if we're trying to help you build your credit. If you do it during the loan process, it will have a major impact on your credit score. Also, changing the balance kind of goes along with the one earlier. If I've pulled your credit and it was based on a $300 balance on a $1,000 limit credit card, and now you have an $1,100 balance on that credit card, your credit score is going to drop. It's going to greatly impact your ability to get a home. Number 7, don't misuse your credit card. Just talked about that. Gosh, it's almost like I've been doing this for 30 years. Never ever carry more than 40% of your max limit. My recommendation is 30%. Number 8, don't delay retrieving documentation. When you come in and you start a mortgage loan, we're going to give you information. You don't always have to come in, by the way. You can do everything online nowadays, but you're still going to have to provide information. The longer that you take to give me the information or your lender the information, the longer it takes to close your loan. So if they ask you for documentation, get it to them as soon as possible. Number 9, please don't go on vacation during your loan purchase or your home purchase, your loan transaction. Why? Because I can't get a hold of you. Plus, you're on vacation. So if I call you and say, send me your updated pay stub, you don't want to get it to me because you're currently sitting by the pool enjoying a beverage of your favorite choice, and you don't want to be bothered by your lender. So don't go on vacation until after we close on your home loan. And number 10, don't hesitate to ask questions. This is probably going to be the biggest purchase you make in your entire life. You need to understand the transaction from beginning to end. We want you to be happy from beginning to end. We don't want any stress. We want you to feel like you're being treated just like family. So if you have a question, ask. Don't wait till the very end. Don't get stressed. If you have a question at 9 o'clock at night, pick up the phone and call. You might be surprised. I might just answer. I appreciate you giving me the time to kind of go over some of the thoughts that I have when it comes to buying a home. I hope that I've helped answer some questions for you. If you want to contact me further, you certainly can do so. My cell phone is 801-427-3577, or you can go to my website, which is www.loansbygregg.com. Again, www.loansbygregg.com. Thanks so much for your time. See you later.